As you know, I'm Sally Mello, owner of Mello Marine. Mike and I started this about 16 years ago. Absolutely love sharing the love of water. So, okay.
Derek Carlson started Not On Call with the other board members. There's 4 of us that originally started it. We started last year, and we're moving along.
Good.
I'm DJ Lopez. I currently work for Roseville PD. I've been a police officer for nearly 10 years. And I got introduced to Not On Call about 1 year ago when I was offered to go out and experience the surfing camaraderie first responder event. I was a little hesitant, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I always had a love for surfing. I had a boat prior to going out to this event, which I sold, and I'm like, what better way to get back out on the water than go on a friend's boat for free, right?
Yeah,
So I got out there, had a great time, and I loved the camaraderie that we had with people who I've never met before but are in the same profession as me. And being able to have that experience, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I wanted to be a part of it. And so I talked to Derek and Mike, and I said, hey, if you guys need any help, let me know. I'd be glad to be a coach, photographer, whatever you guys need. I'm there for you guys. So this year I joined the party, and I'm fully in.
Good.
So
awesome. Yeah. Well, and more board members brings new people to the table and new experiences and some new, from your end, you can now kind of umbrella out and bring some of the people in and share your experience.
absolutely.
So, Derek, tell me a little bit more about the foundation and kind of just a smidge of your past and what brought you here.
Absolutely. So Mike O'Grady and I started at San Jose PD together in the academy, and that became really good friends. I've been friends for a little over 10 years now. We travel together. All of our families travel together. So long story short, my wife and his wife, we all went on a trip together, and we wanted to find a way to give back to the community that I was involved in. I'm now retired. I was a law enforcement officer as well. And we wanted to give back. We wanted to find a way to get people out of the mundane day-to-day life. Well, not so mundane, I guess, but depending on what they're going through, and show them what we're passionate about. And water for us is healing. I've been on the water since I was 2 years old, started on the Delta. I raced jet skis back in the day. I've done everything behind a boat, wakeboarding, kneeboarding, all that stuff. So when I feel comfortable, I'm on the water. If I have a stressful day, if I get to the water, I'm in my happy place. I forget about everything else that's going on. So we wanted to kind of bring a piece of that pie to people that maybe have never been on the water, and maybe it's just something new for them to do, or maybe they've done it before, like DJ, and they're like, oh, now I want to get back into it. So experiential wise, we've really seen that with people that we've taken out on the water. It kind of melts away. When we go out there, we don't do therapy sessions or anything like that. The therapy is the boat and the water. So that's really the nuts and bolts of how we got started, was just an idea. And then obviously we talked to Centurion and you at the boat show, and it went really fast. I think Centurion has a passion for it. You guys have a passion for it. And we just appreciated being able to be a part of this family.
So you had, to start with, you had 5 or 10 events last year. How many events did you have last year?
I think it was, anywhere from, it wasn't quite 10, but it was a little bit more than 5.
Okay.
So last year was a little different. We advertised online, and we thought we'd be able to sign up a lot of first responders. They would just, sign up right away. We found that to be a little challenging because it's something new and out of their comfort zone. We got a bunch of people signed up. A little bit different this year. We kind of switched gears. We used some of our partnerships with local departments. Citrus Heights PD, for instance, we have some contacts over there. So we did a family day with them, our family weekend, where they did a barbecue on one side of the lake and they shuttled people over. So I think in those 2 days we pulled, don't take my numbers, but it's about 45 people between the 2 days. And then all the other events, I would say we're approaching 100 people so far this year, which is far more than we pulled last year.
So a little different than some of the other nonprofit groups that do wounded warriors
Yes.
or the wounded athletes. Although, taking someone who's had tragedy or had some bad experience and taking some of those families back out and sharing how important the love of water and just finding calm in the chaos is something that your group does, right? I mean, it's not a wounded warriors thing, but
No.
it's just it's for these first responders, and and I'm going to have you go into it just
Yeah,
a
I'd
little
like
bit
to talk a little about
in a
that, 'cause I
second,
would share my
because
experience.
first responders don't ever get credit. I mean, you guys, I have to applaud. I mean, every guys who's stood up for our country, every officer that stands up there. When we had some of the stuff that was going on in our country, I was appalled and ashamed and horrified that you guys who keep the calm and keep the chaos from getting bad, were looked at in a horrible light, and it just broke my heart that the world, at that point for me the world was broken, because
Sure.
you guys should get the applause. You guys keep the chaos from being chaos, and you go through crazy stuff every day and have to remain calm with the normal people. I mean,
Well, and that's really where we kind of kick in, right? Because without going into any of my experiences, but a lot of, and DJ can speak to this too, but a lot of what we've seen or experienced is the inner damage, right? Of you may see somebody walking around and you don't know what they're going through, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what their mental state might be. And that's where I think this kind of breaks it up, because working in law enforcement, if you focus on your job so much, which you do, right? You really dig into it. If that's all you do, that's all you know.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like that real quick break from it, right? Of like, oh wait, there's more. There's more out there.
What was nice to see is being a police officer for so long, you develop these friendships with your coworkers or your colleagues, right? And anytime you're off duty and you're hanging out with your colleagues, all you tend to talk about is work,
Yeah.
right? And it becomes very toxic, and you're now bringing home your work life to your family life and to your friend life and to everything. It's just 100% is always about work, right?
Even just now, right? You told me about a call. We
Exactly.
won't go into it, but you told me about
So
a call, right? 'Cause
it's like that's what we do, and so it was nice and shocking to see last year when I first did this. Was I'm with a whole bunch of first responders, but we didn't talk about work, right? And we talked about being out on the boat. We talked about surfing. We talked about, and we had laughs about people falling, or it's just a different experience to share with your colleagues that you normally wouldn't have, right? And it was actually really cool. Like 2 weeks ago, we took out some Roseville PD guys that I work with on a day-to-day basis. One was a sergeant and a couple other officers that I work with on a patrol team. And I was expecting to have those conversations, because some of those guys that's all we talk about is work, right? But we didn't.
Yeah.
We talked about being out on the boat.
Yeah.
And they all had a great experience, and they were shocked to have a great experience as well.
Yeah.
Because trying to pull somebody out of their regular day-to-day life to be out on the water, away from their family, away from everything else, and to not know what they're getting themselves into, because first responders are very much in this regimented day-to-day life, and we want to have a very planned out life, right? Everything's on a regiment, and so
I can't control this. Oh no!
if you can't,
I have to say, there's a sense of ego too,
Yes,
right?
there
I
could
don't
be.
know this.
I don't want to not be good at
I
it.
don't want to
Yes.
not be good right out the
100%.
gate, and so I don't want to try because I'm not going to be good.
Yes.
Vulnerability.
Or I might be vulnerable in the situation because everybody else might be good and I'm not. So to let that guard down shows a different side of you,
100%.
and it's healing,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So it's good.
It
to go
really
out
is.
there.
It,
Yeah.
And back to that, Mike and I have worked together for a while, and the same thing. Like we go, out boating ourselves, with families. We rarely talk about work, but if we're on the phone together, then we talk about things that happen and this and that, or in the past or whatnot. But when we're on the water, we don't bring it up.
Yeah.
So it's really quite nice. It's a huge benefit of being on the water for these folks.
Well, and I think that's what you help bring to the table
Yep.
on the board is that you can share the experience saying, hey guys, put your egos aside. This is a blast. Let's go. And if you're successful, great. If you're not, great. Let's go have a
Have a
fun
good time.
day
Yep.
on the boat.
Yep.
And you do, because one of the things I did with my children from the very start, especially with phones nowadays, phones went in the glove box.
Yep.
Every friend who came on board, their phone went in the glove box. If the only time it came out is if we're filming someone or if we are changing music.
100%.
That's it, because it's about being present in the moment and looking around. I mean, God, we spend so much time recording it, we forget to look at what
Nature,
the experience
yeah.
is, right? Out here we see in 3D, and in here we're seeing 2D, and we lose the experience if we're in 2D. So
Yeah, a lot of times
when
I tell
we-
people, it's great to video, but that's just for you to look back on.
Yeah.
But we'll do the videoing,
Exactly.
and you enjoy just being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get you the photos and videos. So yeah, it's great. We couldn't be, I think, more pleased with the responses we've got. We do a questionnaire before and after now. It's not really a questionnaire. It's like, how do you feel now, and how do you feel after?
Yeah.
And the response is overwhelming. Mike has all the numbers, but I mean, the percentage is over 90% that they feel better after the day's done.
Yeah. It's like going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
We always, once in a while, we just, God, am I really have to go to the gym after I worked an 8-hour day? And you get to the gym and you spend an hour and a half at the gym, and you walk out of the gym and you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, feel so much better, and I'm so glad I did that. Even though I was tired, now I have more energy and
That endorphin
it's
rush.
awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's good to have those feelings. So let's circle back again. Kind of the Centurion, Mellow Marine tie is that our real catalyst, our real kind of initiation was a boat show 2 years ago, and we met and kind of came together and loved the idea of your idea, and it was funny because we get so many people who walk through and say, hey, I got this great idea and I want to sell you on this. And you're like, oh God, I got another sales pitch and I got to listen to this guy. And I don't know you from Adam, and I didn't know anybody, and they're telling me about their program, and I'm going, well, let's, but the more I sat and talked about it and listened to it, and again, between first responders and the military and everyone who just really kind of gets pushed aside and not, I mean, you're viewed at a different level now than we used to honor everybody in a different place, and I just don't feel the honor was there.
Right.
And as you know, our logo is, I mean, both of my father and my stepfather were in the military, but we don't have a huge military background here. But to honor the people around that, serve our country, serve our cities right now, it was worthy of getting on board. You didn't want to save the fish. You didn't want to, maybe save the schools. I have a different place in schools. I'd like to save what's going on in schools. That's a different subject. Anyway, but you guys came to us 2 years ago at a boat show, a year and a half ago almost, and kind of made this catalyst and set this program in motion. And it was still really in its infancy, but it took off. And then this year, tell me a little more about what's going on this year, because it's changed this year.
It's changed a lot. I mean, I'll start with the boat show. I mean, just, with you guys, we felt the warmth right away, to be honest. I mean, we were going to the boat show. It was Denise and I, actually, because Mike and my wife, they all had to work. But we didn't know what to expect walking into that boat show. We knew Centurion. We knew that they support, law enforcement and veterans and the military. But, met with you, met with Amy, met with Payam, the whole crew. It was just really warm and welcoming. And I think that's at the heart of Mellow and also Centurion, is helping and giving back to the community and the overall scope of what we're doing. So we just felt at home. This year's changed a lot. Yeah, just because honestly, it's just grown, and it really isn't by any other means than just word of mouth, right? I mean, people go out, then they tell other friends about it at work. Hey, you got to try this. But we did kind of move some things around internally, like I was talking about before with the departments. So we looked at this from let's get peer support on board, right? Because peer support is the ones that help these folks out at work. And so if we can get with peer support and go, hey, we've got another program. It's not to replace any other program, but we've got a program that we can get people out on the water. It's very easy. It's an easy barrier to enter, right? Because we're not saying you have to go to intensive therapy or anything like that.
Yeah.
So those things are really the big changes this year that we have right now. And then more events. We've added some more events in. We're going to have a fundraiser event in October that you know about down at Village West. We're doing a golf tournament, and I'll let him talk more about that on Monday. And we're just trying to get out national nights out for law enforcement and just tell people who we are. And furthermore, for the organization, any money that we take in goes back to free. We don't take personally. This is for everyone out there. This is not like big organizations take salaries for their. This is all for the folks that we want to help. So, that's really, I think, the biggest thing that we're trying to accomplish. And just, we'd like to get bigger. We'd like to branch out more if we can, if that means, running more events or, more boats one day, we're open to that,
Tell me, you said you were a boat owner before.
I was.
What kind of boat did you own, and what was your experience behind the Centurion, different surfing wise and all of that?
Yeah, I can definitely
let's talk
explain
about surfing.
Yes.
So I owned a 2018 Taiga R23.
Okay.
I bought the boat from Florida.
Wow.
I was surfing the internet back in, I think it was like 2019, 2020. And I was like looking for a newer boat that was within the $100,000 price range. And I grew up a little bit on the water, not a ton. My aunt had a houseboat on Lake McClure, which is about 2.5 hours south of here. And I'd go up to her houseboat once a year, and I thoroughly loved the water. And I was like, one day I want to own a boat. And finally got to that point where I'm like, I'm going to buy a boat. And my wife was all about it. She's like, I love the water too. I want to get a boat. So we bought a boat. Shipped it from Florida to here. The boat had like 40 hours on it. It's a brand new boat. The guy had it on a hydro lift, so it was in great condition. And I got it for steel. Had it for about 2 years, and COVID happened. And that's when the price of that boat went up drastically. And I was like,
sold it and made some money.
When are you ever going to buy a boat and make money?
Yeah.
We were having our second child. And so I was like, we're not going to really be able to get on the water this summer. So let's sell the boat. And we weren't thoroughly impressed with the wave, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was very finicky. And that's all we did was surfing. We never did like wakeboarding. Our kids were too young to do tubing and stuff like that. So we were all about surfing. I'd get my daughter out on the water with me and put her on my shoulders and surf with her, and she loved it. So it was our happy place. We were out almost every day that we were off, and we went up to Lake Rollins. That was our home lake, and we loved it. It was great. So we sold it. We agreed to sell it because we had our new child, and that was like the saddest day of my life. People say that boat owners are like, the happiest day is when you buy it, and the happiest day is when you sell it. No, for us it was the saddest day of our life. We were really sad to get rid of it. But the reason we sold is because we knew it wasn't going to be our forever boat. It wasn't going to be a boat that we wanted to keep forever because the wave just wasn't what we want it to be. We have friends that have Malibus and Paragons and all different kinds of boats, Centurions, and so we're like, oh, we want to get one of those boats one day.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. Eventually, we'll get there again. So,
And tell me about your experience on Derek's boat.
I am thoroughly impressed. I've never surfed on the back of a newer Centurion. One of my buddies has an older Centurion. I think it's like an 04, 05 Centurion. It was designed as a ski boat primarily at that time. And obviously these new Centurions are more designed for surfing, right? With all the ballasts inside of it. So when I got behind the boat, I'm a bigger dude. I'm 6'3", 230 pounds. And to get me in a pretty good sized pocket to be able to stay in it could be a little difficult. But with these Centurions, no, not at all. I could get super far back in the wake.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always love taking big guys back there and letting them surf.
Yeah.
And especially if they Malibus or Axis or any of those things, because they surf really up close. I tell the surfer, I'm like, dude, your wave's behind you. Slide back, slide back. You're okay. And then their eyes get big because they're still in the wave. They're like, oh my God, I'm still here. I didn't fall off the backside.
The push is unreal.
The boat still pushes me, so it makes it kind of nice.
When you tow as many people as we tow, I mean, it's not like we're just taking our families out, right? Like if you have 4 or 5 people in your family and you have a boat that doesn't have a lot of adjustability and it's good for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the Centurion is just so adjustable that if I have him back there or I have somebody who weighs 100 pounds back there, everybody kind of gets the same experience and wave for them.
Yeah.
And we, not to go into all the technicalities, but I mean, when we bought these boats, we didn't come from Centurion, and it was pretty easy to learn it, and to learn what ballast to put it at, ram fill. I mean, you're full in 90 seconds ish.
And just a reminder to everybody, you own an FE22.
Yes, we have 2 of them.
They're 2 FE22s. They're really pretty cool. The first year model was awesome. And they used them for a year and sold them, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful just kind of transition to the other people who have bought them, and we still see both of the people come through here.
I just saw them the other day.
Service and all of these things. And then your next set of boats, really good looking boats. Have you been in the newer one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to sell them because they're good looking boats.
The drop zone tower is just amazing too for us. It just.
But again, having those simple features on these boats is kind of neat because, again, you're going to have a 100-pound person there and someone who's 230 and still have this wonderful experience because some of the boat lines don't have that adjustability. They can build a awesome wave, and it's big and it's got lots of push, but then I can't calm it down for a smaller human being. So it's like putting them on a double diamond run saying, hey, you're going to learn how to surf for the first time. And you have this wall of water back here and it's very intimidating. And if I can, and that's what Centurion is cool, is that I can calm it down and make it, softer and more forgiving, and still have that push behind it. So
I think.
Sorry.
No, sorry. What I was going to say is I'm going to tag to that is that why I think Centurion works so well with Not on Call is that this organization is creating a safe spot for law enforcement, first responders to be within a boat, and a lot of these other brands of boats, the wave is so finicky that you're going to have to start moving people around the inside the boat to create this wake to make a good experience for the surfer that's out there, right? And we don't have that problem. Like everyone can sit in the boat wherever they want to sit. We don't have to tell people while they're on their mental health day to go move different seats when they're comfortable. Yeah. Everyone just kicks back.
And that's a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
You don't get
where
that.
You're comfortable.
Yeah, where you feel good, right? And it's okay.
I've actually had people ask me, do I need to move? I'm like, nobody needs to move. I've got it covered.
And it's funny because even driving, my husband had somebody cut him off this morning, and he's and I said,
where's the police officer when we
I know, gosh darn it, where are you? But I said to him, you don't know if he's got someone in his car, he's rushing to the hospital who's literally got someone dying in the front seat or having a baby, or if they're just morons and they want to drive fast. So before you wave your arm at them and swing, you don't know everybody's experience.
That's right. And
when somebody sits in front of you, and we've learned this with law enforcement, we've learned this with the firemen who see, death and horrible experiences every day, and they got to set it aside, or our military who go and they have these experiences, and then they try and remain calm and look normal, and you don't know what's going on inside your brain, and that's what the not on call and the water and all of that experience is about, is that we need to find that happy place, that calm and feeling of
Serene.
being okay where you are at the time and sharing it with like people.
Yes.
Well, and the interesting thing about people in the profession too is that they always want to help, right? They always, even on the boat, like, what can I do? So we really try and go, we've got it all covered. We've got myself as a driver, my wife's usually the flagger photographer, and then we have a coach. So really, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
We want you to experience it. We don't want you to have to pull on the rope, hold the flag, because then it takes away from your experience.
Yeah.
And back to the boat itself, I drove a competitor's boat not too long ago. I was out with some friends. The ease of the systems on the Centurion versus, and I won't mention the other competitor, but the screen was so hard to navigate to adjust anything on, and ballast and speed and this and that, that it was really complicated for me. And I've driven these boats before, but it's always been that way. And on this, it's just a couple things and you're good.
Yeah.
And then you can concentrate on the task at hand, which is what we're there
Who
for.
you're there for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's neat that you and Mike, and now you joining the group, is that you know how they feel.
Yes.
Because
Been
you've
there.
experienced it. And I tell people all the time, rarely do we meet anyone who had the same stroke that my husband had. And he met someone who had the exact same stroke. And I said, we can be empathetic, and I can be empathetic to all of your situations that you guys go through every day. But I have no idea what you've been through. I can't tell you what you've been through. I can't experience it. I can be empathetic to my husband's and his situation, but I don't walk in his shoes, and I haven't felt, not being able to use half my body or use my words or any of those things. So to meet someone who has walked in your shoes and says, "Oh, let me take you to this happy place that has really brought me calm," is kind of neat, because you guys have both walked in the same shoes. And
Right.
so that next guy who you're getting in the water for the first time, you've been there.
Yeah.
And say, "Hey, let's do this together, and let's have fun."
Yep.
And not, not be freaked out, or this should not bring you stress. This should bring you joy and fun, and we want to take you out of your normal brain.
Yeah.
I think DJ can probably, I don't know if you can speak to it, but I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
I think the trust is more there too, because Mike's wife and my wife are nurses, both law enforcement, or retired law enforcement, I should say now. But they trust us because we've been there, right? We're not some organization that's just coming out of the blue and going, I don't know what I think you probably felt, I don't know if you felt that way, but you're like, oh, these guys been there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They know what I do, right?
Yeah, and like coming in the first time, I wasn't sure what I was walking myself into. I was like, am I gonna talk about like a tragic incident, like an active shooter that I've been a part of, or like, are we gonna like sit down and talk and like all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, right? I don't know, right? And so, but going out there and being able to not talk about work and just be with my colleagues and just have a good time. It wasn't like normal therapy where you go in and you talk about your problems, right? It was therapy of releasing all of that in another way.
Yeah.
That's, I would say, more healthy, especially in our line of work.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to talk about those things. And oftentimes we go through a tragic incident and we put it in our file cabinet of tragic incidents and we try to just file it away and not talk about it. And sometimes those files come back up in a day-to-day life. But for the most part, how we deal with it is we put it in our file cabinet, we close it, and we don't open that, right? And so, and it was nice that I didn't have to open up that file cabinet when I went out on not on call, right? I would just went out there and had a great time.
And that's what we say. It's not there. It's not therapy.
Yeah.
It's not we don't call it therapy. It's almost like for you guys, for the people we take out, it's almost just a vacation day,
Yeah.
right? You worked all week, now come out with us.
Yeah.
And this is something different than you did last week.
It's like therapy without going to therapy,
Exactly.
though.
Yeah, right. No, and
You know,
and I love that you have that experience, because being the driver and being in the organization, I'm doing so many things that day that it's good to have you with that experience, because
Yeah.
it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
And even for me, like, although I did that first event, but now I'm coming back as a coach and I help out with whatever's needed. I'm still getting my therapy by going out and helping them. I love it. Because just being out on the water is my happy place. I don't even have to be out there surfing. In fact, I think I maybe surf for 5 minutes.
I surf like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I love driving the boat.
Yeah.
I love driving the boat.
Yeah.
That is actually really relaxing for me. Yeah. And it drives so well, and it just makes me happy to cruise at 20 miles an hour back to the launch ramp, and I just feel good.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, it's neat because you guys share that same common experience. I can be empathetic and I can offer, and that's, kind of, we offer the boats.
Yes.
But I can't feel the feelings that you guys have had because, I've had my own tragedies, but nothing that you guys, either one of you have, I haven't experienced an active shooter. I haven't had a gun pointed at me. I mean, all of those things I don't live with. And so I can't, I can be empathetic, but I can't say that I feel what you feel. So it's great that you're,
But we see
work
the
together.
empathy, though, because we go back to, Mike and I've said it a million times, without you and without Centurion, this doesn't go, right? I mean, it doesn't work. So it takes everybody to kind of go, I see what you're doing. And, honestly, you guys saw it pretty quick. Like, it was literally just a, hey, I'm Derek. Hey, I'm Sally. And from there, it wasn't long. It wasn't like you're like, I need a year to think about this. I don't know. It was fairly rapid.
Again, I have a soft place in my heart for military and you guys, first responders, and the police. I mean, absolutely. I can't imagine your jobs ever.
I can't either sometimes.
All right, so we're gonna call it a day. You guys did awesome, and I'm sure he got tons of footage. We've gone,
Awesome.
Oh my God, so long. But
Great.
it's really, really good. Awesome meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet
And
you as well.
it was, sharing.
We know each other very well.
Yes, but sharing that not on call story, and other people should know about it and what we're trying to do out there. And again, we're not standing there with a flag on a hill saying, "Hey, look at us." What we're doing is trying to help everybody that works and takes care of us every day.
We're here for everybody, and adding into that too, just real briefly, nurses, doctors, anybody who sees tragedy, we'll take them on the water. We don't turn anyone away. We'll do private days if people. We've had that situation last year where we had somebody who couldn't be around other people. We did a whole day on the Delta with just one other person and their family. And we just took them out on the boat, and they had a great time, smiling, laughing.
That's awesome.
It was great. So we custom tailor things.
Yeah.
But thank you again to you guys and to Centurion, all of the people that help out, awning detailers, everybody that we have on board, have just been great. And we look forward to continuing.
We like being a part of it, and it's been a really fun ride. And again, we love boating. It's what we do, and goats.
I like those too.
But it really brings a smile to our face knowing that we're changing lives in just a little way.
Absolutely.
And it's that drop in the water, and it doesn't take much to change someone's life. And you are changing people's lives, and you being on board now, helping them. You saw what the cause was to change that life, and again, for us in Centurion to say, hey, we get you. We want to be on board, and we know what you're but don't know what you're going through, but happy to help.
But they're super supportive.
Anyway, love this, love Centurion, love this area too.
Yes.
I mean, Roseville, Rockland, Auburn, all of that.
Yeah.
It's just, living in California, we have people make jokes about us, but I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect spot for all this.
Anyway,
Yep.
thanks again.
Thank you.
Signing out.
Thanks.